it hurts me to my soul. I will never be able to pick up the phone to talk to my brother, to talk to my mom. I'm truly just lost for words.
Wilson, North Carolina. Sun's out, folks sitting on porches, kids riding bikes down the street. Just another easy afternoon. But on this one porch, over at 916 Washington Street, everything's about to change. A man stands there, phone in his hand, camera rolling. His name is Donta Chestnut, or as everyone around here calls him, Carolina Tay. Just 3 days earlier, this same man was handing out groceries to families who couldn't afford them, feeding people, smiling for pictures. The city loved him. And now, he's standing on a porch arguing with a family over rent, voices rising, tension heavy. In less than 15 minutes, 2 people will be dead. A mother, her son, and the man holding the gun will be the same man who built his whole life teaching kids to stop the violence. How does a man who preached peace become the reason for this kind of pain? This is the story of Donta Chestnut, the mentor, the advocate, the killer. Welcome to Behind Dark Crime. Now before we go deep, hit that subscribe button, because this one is something else. Natasha Sutton was 44 years old, a mother of 3, the kind of woman everybody called when something was going wrong. Her daughter, Tatiana, said they spoke almost every single day, every morning, like clockwork, just checking in, just love.
I called my mama's phone, called my brother, and nobody answered. And then I called my cousin, and she told me, something had happened to my mom and my brother. And that's when I found out that they were gone.
That call never came on September 15th. Natasha had just moved into a new place, 916 Washington Street, with her husband Tyrone Sutton and her son, Avante Pender. It wasn't fancy, but it was home, a fresh start. Finally, the family was under one roof again. Her oldest son, Tyrone Brown, called her the glue of the family. When someone needed help, she showed up. When something broke, she fixed it. She didn't bend. She was proud of that. And Avante, just 21, was the heart of it. Everybody said he had this bright future. Just needed time to find his way. He loved his mom. He was close with his siblings. And he was trying to figure life out like any young man. But here's something they didn't know. The lease on that apartment, the name on the papers, Donta Chestnut. Their landlord was the same man the whole community saw as a role model. See, to the people of Wilson, Donta wasn't just another guy. He was a story of hope. Went to Liberty University, studied business, talked about faith and healing. But what really made people love him was what he did after his brother died, shot and killed in an act of gun violence. Most people would have gone looking for revenge. Not him. He turned that pain into purpose. He built something called our Wilson Mentoring, a youth program to keep kids out of the streets, out of trouble. He said he wanted to change generations. And you know what? Folks believed him. They saw it happen. He'd help kids find jobs, teach them life skills, pay out of his own pocket when families couldn't afford the program. Parents said he saved lives.
They'll show you every stat so they don't think that you're sucking up. So imagine. You did good on that right there 3 times too. Right 3 times right. The one that you saw. We did that, we did improve. You gotta do imagine now. I want you to write it 3 times so you have it memorized in your head.
By 2023, the man had influence. He even ran for city council, didn't win, but got respect for trying. And when the state awarded his organization $500,000 to grow, everyone said it was proof that good things come back around. He was doing interviews, shaking hands, smiling at events. He was the guy who made you believe things could get better. But that's the part of the story everybody knew. What most didn't see was that Donta was also a businessman, a landlord. He owned several rental properties around Wilson. And when tenants didn't pay, he didn't play around. That Liberty University degree taught him the power of contracts, deadlines, consequences. So while the public saw a community hero, the people renting from him saw a landlord who wanted his money on time, period. Now, by the summer of 2025, things started shifting. Natasha and her family, the Suttons, fell behind on rent. First a month, then 2. Excuses, promises, and then silence. Donta started calling, texting, showing up, friendly at first, then firm. He wanted payment, not stories. But here's the thing, when you live in the same small city, when your landlord is a community figure who knows everyone, that tension hits different. Natasha and her family were struggling to stay afloat. Donta was trying to run his business. It was personal, and it was pressure on both sides. By September, the kindness had run out. Donta decided he'd had enough. He told himself he was done waiting, done chasing rent. He was going to that house in person. No more calls, no more texts. He marked the date, September 15th. That Sunday morning, Natasha was at home with her husband Tyrone, her son Avante, and a relative, Tiffany Fogg. Regular Sunday. Nothing unusual. Meanwhile, Donta got ready to go to that address, 916 Washington Street. He grabbed his phone. Some say he wanted to record proof. Others say it was about control, a way to keep the upper hand. And maybe the hardest question, did he take that gun because he planned to use it, or was it just something he carried? Either way, by 2 o'clock that afternoon, he was standing on that porch. The camera was rolling, and the piece he'd built his whole life preaching about was about to be destroyed in 1 minute and 20 seconds. It's just after 2 in the afternoon. The sun's still bright. That porch camera is running, and you can hear Donta's voice, calm at first, asking about the rent. Natasha's husband, Tyrone, is trying to explain. Avante's standing nearby, watching everything unfold. Now, what starts as a simple argument about money quickly turns into something else. Natasha's tone changes. She's tired, frustrated. You can hear that edge in her voice, like a woman who's had of feeling disrespected. Donta's talking back, still recording.
They can record all they want. They can record all they want. They getting out today.
Then it happens. Avante steps forward. There's movement, shouting, the kind of moment where everything shifts and nobody can take it back. The video shakes, and then, in just a few seconds, gunshots. When the noise stops, Natasha and Avante are both on the ground. Tyrone's yelling, panic in his voice. Donta's camera is still on, but he's walking away. The same man who told young men that violence solves nothing had just taken 2 lives. After that, everything moved fast. Police got the 911 call around 2:15 p.m. Neighbors had already heard the shots. Some ran outside, others stayed back, too afraid to look. When officers arrived, they found Natasha and Avante on the porch. Both had been shot. They tried to save them, but it was too late. Right there on Washington Street, a mother and her son were gone. Donta wasn't hiding. He didn't run. In fact, he drove straight to the Wilson Police Department, walked in, and turned himself in. Now see, that's the part that had folks talking. The man had a gun, used it, and then calmly handed himself over. Some people said that showed remorse. Others said it showed control, like he already knew how this was going to play out. When police took his statement, Donta told them the shooting was self-defense. He said Avante had rushed him, that he feared for his life. He said he never meant for things to go that far. But that video, the one from his own phone, that told a different story. Investigators watched it frame by frame. They saw the argument, the distance, the moment he raised that gun. And what they didn't see was any clear sign that his life was in danger. So while he claimed fear, the evidence pointed to anger. Later that night, the news broke. Wilson's community advocate, the man who spent years fighting gun violence, was in custody for murder. The shock hit hard. People couldn't process it. Churches prayed for the victims. His organization shut down its website. Parents were texting each other, saying, "How do we tell the kids? The man who taught them peace is in jail for killing somebody." By morning, social media was flooded. Some defended him, saying something must have pushed him too far. Others said he was never who he claimed to be. But one thing everybody agreed on: nothing about this story made sense. Police charged him with 2 counts of first-degree murder and possession of a firearm by a felon. Yeah, that part surprised a lot of people too. Donta had a criminal record from before his mentoring days, something most folks never knew. Officers searched his car, collected his phone, and locked him up without bond. Meanwhile, Natasha's family was grieving. Her daughter, Tatiana, said, "I called my mom every morning. She never missed a call." That day, the phone just rang. And Avante's friends couldn't believe it either. One said, he was finally doing better. He was trying to get his life right. He didn't deserve that. The funeral came a few days later. 2 caskets, side by side. A whole community, crying. Not just for the victims, but for what they'd lost in faith. Because this time, the violence didn't come from the streets. It came from someone who was supposed to protect them from it. But hey, life don't always move the way we expect. Sometimes the people who look the most put together got storms inside them we can't see. And that's where this case started to twist, because when the courtroom lights came on, the story that followed had layers nobody was ready for. After turning himself in, Donta Chestnut sat behind bars in the Wilson County Jail, waiting to face the world he once inspired. The same man who mentored kids about making better choices now had his mugshot on every news channel in North Carolina. When the reports came out, people felt betrayed.
A man accused of double murder now faces a new charge. Wilson police added a second charge for attempted murder for Donta Chestnut, as he accused of shooting 4 people yesterday.
And tonight we are learning more about the victims. This is Natasha Sutton and her son Avante Pender. They were killed. WRAL's Heidi Kirk spoke with their family this afternoon. Heidi, their family really wants answers.
They weren't just angry about what he did, they were heartbroken that someone they trusted could do it. The DA wasted no time filing charges. 2 counts of first-degree murder. No bond. The community watched as Donta appeared in court for the first time, wearing a jumpsuit. Quiet. No smile. No speeches this time. And inside that courtroom, the story split in 2. On one side, you had the prosecution, saying this was no accident, that he went there ready, armed, and angry. That he shot Natasha and Avante over something that could have been solved with words. They showed that phone video, the one he recorded himself, frame by frame, every second. The jury saw it all, the arguing, the pacing, the pull of the trigger. Then, on the other side, the defense painted a different picture. They said Donta had been pushed, that Avante charged at him, that fear took over. They brought up his work in the community, his mentoring program, all the lives he'd changed. They wanted the jury to see him as a man who made one bad choice in a moment of panic, not a murderer. But here's the truth: sometimes, even good intentions can't erase bad actions. When witnesses took the stand, Natasha's husband, Tyrone, told the court what he saw. He said, "There was no reason for that man to pull a gun. None." His voice cracked when he said it. You could hear pain, not just anger. The jury didn't take long to decide. Guilty on both counts. When the verdict came down, Donta sat still. No reaction. Maybe he knew this was coming. Maybe he'd been carrying that weight since the moment he fired those shots. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The mentoring center he built shut down. The grant money? Gone. His name? Erased from the programs he once led. And outside that courthouse, the city of Wilson stood still. People were quiet, confused, angry, and sad all at once. Because this case wasn't just about one man losing control, it was about trust breaking in a place that already had enough pain. Natasha's family still visits her grave. They talk about her cooking, her laughter, her strength. Avante's friends post his pictures every year, saying they miss his jokes, his energy. Meanwhile, inside a North Carolina prison, Donta Chestnut sits alone. The man who once told kids to put the guns down now lives behind locked doors because he didn't take his own advice. Sometimes, life is cruel like that. One decision, one moment of pride or anger, and everything changes. So now, every time the city of Wilson holds another youth rally against gun violence, somebody always brings his name up. Not to praise him, but to remind the next generation how fast a life can flip. And that porch on Washington Street? It's quiet again. Just another house on another block. But if you walk by, you can still feel something in the air. That echo of what happens when peace gets lost in the heat of emotion. So what do we really take from this? Maybe it's that even the people who speak the loudest about change can still be fighting their own battles inside? And maybe that's why we keep telling these stories, not to judge, but to understand. Because sometimes the darkest crimes come from the people we least expect. And that's the story. Y'all. 2 lives gone, a community torn, and a man who forgot his own message. If this one hit you, like it hit me, go on and share your thoughts in the comments. I really want to know how y'all feel about this case. Make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because every story we tell here on Behind Dark Crime reminds us peace is fragile, and truth always finds a way out.